Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you everyone for being here with us. Oh, absolutely. Let me just see if this will work here. I think you can hear me. Kathy, can you hear me okay? I think so. Hello, Crystal from Alberta. This is awesome. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, everyone. Well, we are here to talk about an introduction class to whole food supplements. And my name is Alyssa Harriman, and I am a registered nutritionist. I have been teaching nutrition as of last January, or this January. I have been teaching nutrition for 18 years. And my career started in the healthcare industry where I felt just really overwhelmed and frustrated by the amount of conditions that I was seeing that were preventable. So I really was witnessing individuals who were losing their quality of life to preventable disease. And I worked with things like people who had suffered from heart attacks and strokes, or maybe they were diabetic and it wasn't well managed, or had inflammatory conditions. And I really just wanted to play a role in helping people prevent preventable disease. And that's what led me down the path to being a nutritionist. And I've been doing that now for the past 18 years. Now, I've spent 15 years specializing in nutritional therapy for people going through cancer. So I do custom programs for them using nutrition that's safe and effective for based on their treatment protocol, I should say, or their treatment program with their doctors. In addition to that, I teach the nutrition program for Doula Canada. Last year, I sat on the advisory panel for CanFit Pro, which is a very large global fitness organization. And I teach the nutrition and cancer program at Edison Institute of Nutrition. And the reason I share all of that with you is because I am very much an expert in this area and in this field. And it has become kind of a life's passion to just continually learn and understand information and look for science-based information, like evidence-based information that can positively impact other people's health and longevity. So that is the whole reason why I do classes like this. And even though we're talking specifically about supplements, and I'm going to talk to you about supplements that I love, I do this to help you be in a better position and have more control around your health and wellness, and to really have a lot of really great understanding around what it is that you can do to improve your health and longevity. And supplements do play a role in overall health. And I'll kind of explain to you why that's happening. And you have to excuse me here as I'm letting all kinds of people in, which is awesome. So I love this quote by Hippocrates where it says, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." And I think over the past 50 years since we've done all of this science around nutrition and understanding how nutrition impacts our risk factors for disease, I think there's a really good understanding, but it feels also really overwhelming when it comes to average individuals and families who don't study this to really navigate the nutrition industry. And there's a lot of fad diets. There's a lot of people out there that are sharing information that's getting sales, but it's not necessarily about building healthier humans. And as a nutritionist, we look at nutrition as kind of this therapy for our body. Our body needs a wide variety of nutrients every single day in order for it to operate optimally. So in order for my body to operate at a high level, I need to have a really large variety of nutrients in my diet every single day. And because we live in this world that has become very fast paced, foods are very convenient, they're highly packaged, highly processed, or they're often packaged and highly processed. We just live in this world where families aren't getting enough good nutrition. And that is really where supplementation came from. It came out of necessity of the fact that we often have two working parents out of the home. Families are looking for convenient nutrition. They need something that's quick and fast. And as a result of consuming these processed foods, what's ended up happening is the quality of the nutrition in our diet has significantly gone down. And we started to look for supplements to kind of fix those deficiencies or fix those gaps. The problem is what we thought was going to work, which is these man-made vitamins and minerals, has been proven not to work. It doesn't have significant positive outcomes when families use man-made, lab-made vitamins versus when they just eat the right foods, right? So food is our medicine. It provides the nutrients so that our body can heal and repair itself. It's not that nutritional therapy does anything for the body, it's that it equips the body to heal itself, to detoxify itself, to recover, to have a good immune system. So we need it in order for the body to allow itself to be in an optimal state of health. So here's some really cool facts that I found, and this is from another lecture that I've done, where it talks about, and this was information from the Institute for Cancer Research, and it was also published in Dietary Patterns in Cardiovascular Disease, and it says there below. So basing our diets around plant foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and beans, which contain fiber and other nutrients, can reduce our risk for cancer. In fact, a plant-based diet can reduce our risk for heart disease by 40%, and a healthy diet and lifestyle behaviors could prevent 40% of cancers. And the reason I wanted to share that little bit of information as we go into a talk around health supplements is because the scientific evidence that shows that the more whole foods, the more plants you consume, there's a large body of evidence that actually shows it has significantly positive outcome on health, including reducing our risk for disease. And it also plays a role in helping our body recover from disease as well, because it provides what the body needs in order to heal and repair. So ultimately, our goal is that the majority of our calories is going to come from whole foods. In fact, as a nutritionist, I recommend 80% of your calories to come from whole foods, because whole foods provide, these plants provide all of the nutrients that your body needs to function optimally. And you can live entirely on a whole food diet and have the benefit of incredible health. And yet we know that the lower the amount of whole foods, specifically fruits and vegetables, you consume, the higher your risk factors for certain diseases. Now, cancer and cardiovascular disease are in fact the top 2 causes of death in North America. And they are largely, if not in some cases, entirely preventable. So the fact that we have so much control over our risk factors by focusing on the quality of the food that we're consuming is really important to understand as individuals and as families. We can't out supplement a bad diet. We need to eat the right foods, but the reality is most of us still have gaps. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that. And that's where supplements come in. All right, so let's keep going here. So what prevents families from eating the right foods or enough of the right foods? And these are probably the most common reasons that I see in my practice. Number 1 is a nutritional response versus a chemical response. So what does that mean? Well, when I eat Doritos, my body has a very different response than when I eat an apple. Right now, I have trained my body to crave and enjoy highly nutritious foods like fruits and vegetables. So I personally would rather have the apple, but there's a lot, because we have a large portion of our society consumes a large amount of processed foods. What's important to recognize about processed foods is that these foods are actually formulated to be addictive. There is a specific amount of sodium and preservatives and flavor enhancers, and these companies want to make you continual consumers of their products, and there's really no nutritional benefit to them. So your body never actually feels satisfied because it doesn't get the nutrients from those foods that it needs in order to function optimally. So those hunger cues when we eat those processed foods stay in the on position all the time. And it's why we constantly feel unsatisfied and why we constantly consume and consume and consume. Whereas when you eat nutrient dense foods, specifically whole foods, your fruits, veg, nuts and seeds, whole grains and legumes, they're incredibly nutrient dense. They're high fiber. They're good sources of complex carbohydrate and protein. They have healthy fats and they nourish the body. And as you train your body to enjoy and reap the benefits of those foods, you start to crave more of them. And your appetite becomes more controlled. You feel more satisfied. You have better gut bacteria in your gut because you're eating more of the right foods. So when we are struggling with healthy eating, a lot of times it's because our body's looking for that kind of that chemical addictive reaction that we get from processed foods versus looking for that nutritional reaction. And we see that a lot with families who have really big challenges when it comes to picky eating at home. If their children have been raised around, which lots of kids have, around consuming these man-made foods, then what ends up happening is they really struggle getting them to transition into eating more healthy foods or more whole foods. Then we have the cost of healthy eating. And it's been long believed that healthy eating costs more. And I would like to disagree with that because I am a mom of four and I totally understand the cost of healthy eating. And there are ways that you can reduce those costs through planning and prep and storage and, buying things that, like dried beans is quite inexpensive, like looking for ways to save money. However, I will say that over the last couple of years, we're currently recording this in February 2023, food costs have grown astronomically. I often travel and do workshops, including food prep workshops and healthy cooking classes for community organizations. And a lot of my food prep classes have the bills have actually doubled. The grocery bill to do those classes have doubled. In some cases, they've more than doubled. So the cost of healthy foods is a real concern for families. That's actually one of the reasons why we very strongly promote the Tower Gardens, is because it's an opportunity for families to have access to good quality food, to have that good nutrition in their home, but also reduce that grocery bill. In fact, your Tower Garden will pay for itself in food savings. And I got some slides at the end of tonight to share that with you. The other challenge is prep time. We got busy families. There's extracurricular, mom and dad are both working. Everybody's on different schedules. Maybe you have kids like me that are, I got older children that are at work and they need dropped off and picked up, and lives are busy. But if we don't plan for healthy eating, and if we don't make the time for healthy eating, it's next to impossible to eat healthy. So this is a real challenge for busy families. Then there's picky eating, which I already discussed, and the challenges that come up around that. And sometimes it's just easier, especially when you're busy, to give them something they'll eat, because otherwise they might not eat something, and then we don't feel good about that as well. And there are strategies. We can teach a class coming up in the spring around how to deal with that, but it is a real challenge for families. Then there's the quality. Now, I live in Canada and it is February. And when I go through the produce section, sometimes I am just like, this is really expensive produce and the quality is really poor. And the reason for that is as foods are shipped long distances, the moment they are harvested, they actually start to lose nutritional value. Every 30 minutes, the nutritional value of those foods go down. A lot of foods are also harvested early so that they'll last through transportation, but it's really in the final days of ripening that those foods have their highest nutritional value or content. And so they're harvesting them early so they don't quite have the same, that potent nutritional profile. And then they ship them long distances. And then we get them home in our crisper or in our fridge. And we're like, how did this go bad so quickly? And it's because it's literally been going bad the entire way it was on its way to us. And that's discouraging. And then the last one here, number 6, is we are dealing with generations that never learned how to use these foods. I've had a client call me and ask me how to make scrambled eggs. She grew up in a home where it was like fish sticks and chicken fingers or frozen TV dinners, or there was just no food prep that happened in her home growing up. So preparing whole foods. I've had lots of clients who've never eaten or prepared things like eggplants or a squash or made a sweet potato. And these are life skills that, because we come from these generations of these two working parents and families are busy and we relied on these packaged foods, there's a huge gap in knowledge. Last year, I learned how to can, and I can't tell you how excited I was about my canning. But it was like I had to go search for someone who actually knew how to do this and was capable of teaching me, because again, that's a skill that has skipped several generations because of just the lifestyle that we live. So there are real reasons why families and individuals struggle with getting enough nutrition into their body on a daily basis. The thing is that's important to remember is your nutritional requirements don't change. You still need the nutrients regardless of the reasons that you're not able to consume enough of the right foods. And what this ended up leading to was families that really feel at a loss and they feel overwhelmed when it comes to navigating nutrition. So why don't we go into the chat? If you are watching in Facebook Live, I see we got a nice group there. Why don't you just let me know, what are the biggest challenges that you face when it comes to healthy living or healthy eating? Is it time? Is it prep? Is it just not sure what to do? Maybe you're just uninspired. What are the reasons that are preventing you from maybe eating as well as you would like to eat? Okay, so just let me know what is something you're dealing with. Maybe you got picky eaters at home. Just head into that chat and type that in. And I see lots of comments here on Facebook, which is awesome. All right, so moving on. So our health products, as you guys share, lots of comments coming in, which is great. Yeah, prep time, picky eaters for sure, absolutely. All right, so our health products should do two things. So oftentimes I have clients who would come into my practice with bags of supplements, and maybe they were self-educated or they read articles or they're at health food stores and they got sold things. Maybe they saw a couple different practitioners, and I've never been a fan as a practitioner of taking too much. I believe that if we do take too many products, there's some risks around binders and fillers and what those products are made and how they're manufactured, how are our filtering organs like our liver and our kidneys dealing with all those products. So I've always kind of erred on the cautious side when it comes to supplementation with my clients. I do believe there is a too much, and there are quite a few products in our marketplace that if you overconsume them, they are toxic. Vitamin D is a great example. I know there's lots of information out there around taking mega doses of vitamin D, but you shouldn't take vitamin D unless you have had your vitamin D levels tested, which will help you choose a safe and appropriate dose. And anything over 5,000 I use a day over extended periods of time is toxic. And dosages of certain nutrients that are toxic to one person might not be toxic to another person, or they might not be toxic to someone, and yet you took that dose and it's toxic to you. So there's a lot of risk in over supplementing and taking too much of things. So what I teach my clients is our health products should do two things. Number one, they should fill gaps. So we shouldn't be looking at our products like, okay, I don't eat well, so I'm going to take this and then I don't have to eat well. That's not really how it works. Really, our products we should be doing our best to eat well and learning how to eat well. And then our products should fill the gaps that are still showing up in your diet. And I'm here to say, I still have gaps. Stress causes gaps. Being unwell or sick causes gaps. Busy lifestyle causes gaps. A lot of exercise causes gaps. Growth spurts causes gaps. There's a lot of things that can cause gaps. So we all have them. And we should look at our products as, okay, I'm going to eat the best I can, but I'm probably still going to have gaps that I need to fill. And the second thing that our products should do is help with correction or healing that is needed. So, for example, if you have, let's use elevated cholesterol, okay, there's a correction that needs to happen in that situation. So one of the really well-proven nutritional strategies for elevated cholesterol is to put more fiber in the diet. Oatmeal, psyllium fiber, these are well proven to help to naturally lower cholesterol. That would be a supplement that we are adding in as a correction, okay? Perhaps you have symptoms of magnesium deficiency and you've talked to a practitioner, you've got restless legs, maybe you get cramps, you have a hard time relaxing, and you're checking a lot of boxes for having symptomatology around not having enough magnesium in your body. And that would be corrective. We would be using magnesium to alleviate the symptoms, but then not necessarily looking at that for long term. If you had your vitamin D levels tested and your vitamin D was low and you took vitamin D to bring it back up, or you were anemic and we knew that you needed to take iron, that's corrective and healing. So those are the two categories that supplements should fall in. Are they filling gaps, or are they adding correction and healing? All right, so when we look at our health products, there's two categories we want to consider, or two things that are really important. One, we need to look at what our health products should be doing. And then the other category is we should be looking at what they shouldn't be doing. And this is important as consumers, and the amount of products that you're probably exposed to on a monthly basis. This is really important, especially through like social media. If you're at like health food stores or drugstores or, you know, all of these places, there are supplements everywhere. And there's things you need to know about choosing good products. So your product should support your healthy lifestyle. So that means they should be something like, if you're looking at products, that becomes part of your healthy living routine. And it's going to help enhance your healthy living lifestyle. They should provide building blocks of a healthier body. So when we look at those ingredients, we should be seeing ingredients that we recognize, that we understand, and we know are important for overall health. Okay. They should support long-term health. So if you were to take these products over a long period of time, is there any positive proven outcome that you can expect from that, or that has been proven somewhere that if you do this, this has been a common outcome, okay, long term. And they should support your body's natural ability to heal, detoxify, and become more disease resistant, okay? So your health products should not make promises or claims, okay? So I love Words with Friends. I'm a bit of a Scrabble geek, and I get the ads that pop up. And the ad that popped up this afternoon when I was playing was these gummies and this girl who had lost 42 pounds in 21 days. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like that's a claim. That is not going to be true for everyone who uses those products. If it says, you just got to be careful. And sometimes those claims can be very, very appealing, but all of us live in very different bodies, and we can't expect the same outcome from the same products as everyone else. Okay. That's where you look for clinical evidence, which means a group of people took the products, and from those groups of people, we actually saw this outcome versus one person. Right? Your product should not be extremely expensive. Like if you can only afford your products for 1 month, or if you're spending $700-800 a month, that's not affordable. And no good products on the market should cost that much, okay? Your product should not support a fad-based diet. So if you're having to take products because your diet is extremely restrictive, there was a weight loss program here in Canada that you had to go get vitamin injections because the program was so nutrient poor and it was so restrictive. You actually had to go get injections to stay on that program. That is not ideal either. And your product should also not be full of synthetic ingredients and fillers. So the very first indication that products are probably not the best choice in terms of the way they're manufactured is tablets. Tablets use a lot more processing and binders and fillers to make a tablet. And tablets, when it comes to vitamins and minerals, certain things need to be available at certain spots in your digestive tract. And if that tablet hasn't broken down well or released those nutrients in those right spots, then you don't absorb any of it. So tablets is a great example of something I don't recommend. The other thing I don't recommend often is anything in a soft gel. And the reason is soft gels, in order for that soft gel to close around the ingredients, they have to bring the temperature up of those liquids or ingredients. So like liquid multivitamins in a soft gel or fish oil in a soft gel, they have to raise the temperature of those liquids in order for that soft gel to close around that liquid. But it's the raising of temperature that actually degrades all of the ingredients. So if you purchase anything in a soft gel, it was heated, which means that it's going to have a significantly lower nutritional quality because of that heating process. So I want to be careful that I'm not in consuming products that are full of synthetic ingredients and fillers. So when it comes to supplements, there is some things that I think we all need to be aware of. And the number one is not all products are clean. There's a lot of dirty products on the market. There's a website called the Clean Label Project. They're a great place to kind of go and check things that get tested. I follow a lot of organizations inside the nutrition industry that randomly test products. And you would be amazed by the amount of contaminants that are found in popular brand name health products from all kinds of companies. And a recent one that I had read last year was 60% of collagens tested had above human consumption levels of arsenic and lead, which meant that people who were consuming these collagen products were actually getting toxic levels of toxic metals. Like, it's just crazy. And this is our market. When I ran a health food store, we would get products that would come in from all over the world, and there was no testing. Oftentimes the packaging that they came in was questionable, and we were just putting it on the shelf. I also saw very big brand names, plant-based products, get pulled for things like being found to have antibiotics or having heavy metals in their products. So not all supplements are clean, and it's a scary industry. There was a reason why prior to the Juice Plus company, I gave my children nothing, and I'll talk to you about what it was about these products that actually made me feel confident giving them that. Testing is the only way to assure quality. So I'll talk to you about how to figure that out. Not all products are safe for the entire family. That's another concern I often see is families bring home these products, well-intentioned, just not fully understanding that there is, like, you can't give a child a shake that has adult doses of vitamins. So mom orders this shake from her friend, and it's whey-based, which children can't consume whey-based products, and it's got mega doses of these adult vitamins, which is toxic for kids, and now they're sharing those shakes with those children. That is not safe. So we have to be aware that there is toxicity levels of specific nutrients, especially for children. They have smaller bodies than us, and it is a risk factor, and it is a common concern. Okay, the body does not recognize synthetic ingredients, including man-made vitamins well. So if you've ever looked at the side of your multivitamins, you'll see that there's like measurements like IUs, MCGs, MGs, and what that means is that it's synthetic. So we don't have specific measurements of nutrients in an apple, right? Because those nutrients could vary apple to apple, depending on how that apple was grown, when it was harvested, how it was grown, what chemicals were used, the quality of the soil. There's a lot of variables, but we don't look for those types of measurements. On man-made vitamins, we do. And there's this idea that as humans, we need to have specific measurements of nutrients. So I often get clients who go, well, so-and-so told me that I needed to have X amount of this vitamin. And the reality is, when it comes to measurements around nutrients, the reason we have measurements that say, you should consume between this much and this much is because they actually use lab-made vitamins in clinical studies. And because lab-made vitamins are made of chemicals, they're not the same as nutrients in foods. They're literally made in labs, made of chemicals, so they look similar and they act similar, but the bioavailability or the absorption is significantly lower. And that's why when you take a multivitamin, you get glow in the dark pee, is because you're not really absorbing that much of it. And in these studies, what they did is they forced large amounts of these man-made vitamins. Oh, am I still here? Just in case my headphones. Yeah. They forced large amounts of these man-made vitamins into people until they saw a change in the bloodstream. And then they said, okay, that's how much these people need to consume in order to see a change in the blood. We don't see nutrients in those levels in food because the nutrients in food is significantly more bioavailable than man-made, lab-made nutrients, right? When you eat a spinach salad, you don't get glow in the dark pee. When you eat an apple, you don't get glow in the dark pee, and that's because those nutrients are bioavailable. We need less of them because our body recognizes and makes use of them. So our body doesn't recognize things that are made in the lab the same way it recognizes nutrients in nature. So for a long time, the nutritional therapy world, we looked at quantity. It was like, how much do we need? But what we've realized now, based on current research, is it's quality. It's important that we consume naturally sourced nutrients that our body can recognize. And last but not least, you can't out supplement a bad diet. So we still want to help you eat healthy. All right, so what is it that you want to look for? Well, one, you want to look for testing on your products. So this is good consumer awareness. So I prefer the NSF stamp. It's one of the top testing standards. It's third party. Companies can't buy it. They have to pass it. And it just means that there's no contaminants inside those products. And what's on that label is inside those products. The other testing for us who are here in Canada is Health Canada approved products. Now, whether or not you like Health Canada or not, it is the second toughest regulatory body in the world when it comes to approved products. So when you have Health Canada approved products, what these companies actually have to do is disclose on the label as ingredients what was used in the manufacturing of those products. So even though there might not be any in the product, the fact that it was used in the manufacturing of those products has to go on the label as an ingredient. So it's very tough. Your products have to, every batch has to be tested by Health Canada before it can be released. So it's a very strong quality assurance. And just so you are aware, I wouldn't say almost none, I would say a very small percentage of the products available in our marketplace are Health Canada approved. So those are two things that as a practitioner I look for, and I wouldn't give my children anything that doesn't have that NSF approval or isn't Health Canada tested. So those are things that are really important to me and should be important to you as well. I also, when I look at the label, I want to see natural ingredients. I don't want to see a long list of lab-made vitamins. And there's lots of good products in the market that are decently formulated and they claim to have whole food ingredients. But when you read the label, you still see a vitamin and mineral label, like these lab-made nutrients. And then at the bottom, you'll see like a little paragraph of, we've also added these powders in there. But the main ingredients are vitamins. So you're really looking for the main ingredients to be foods. You also want to make sure that whatever you're using doesn't have any risk for overdose. So when you, with man-made vitamins, there is a toxicity level and there is overdoses are real. When it comes to powdered food, we don't have those same risk factors. So you can't overdose on wheatgrass. You might poop a lot, but you can't overdose. You can't overdose on powdered fruits and veg, right? Again, you might eliminate well, but you can't overdose. So if there's no overdose concerns, that means that the products are safer for you and your family. You also want to look for good clinical evidence that the products work. And lots of companies like to talk about clinical evidence, but really what they'll talk about is studies on ingredients. So I got green tea in my products, here's some studies on green tea, and they'll try to connect those two. And that's called inferred studies, and it's not real science. Real science is there was a placebo group and there was a supplemented group. Nobody knew who was taking what. That's called double-blind research until the results are in. And then if there is proven positive outcome, in that study, it goes in front of a clinical review board. They review the science and the study to make sure that it was done properly. And then if it passes through that process and adds value to the clinical or medical society, it might get published. So that's what good research looks like. You're looking for double-blind, placebo-controlled, gold standard testing. Okay, and you're looking for published studies. All right, and you're looking for support outside just using the product. So whatever products you use, is there going to be some sort of education? Are there tools? Are there things that are going to help support your family in living a healthier lifestyle? And if you were to go into Amazon and order a multivitamin, nobody's going to say, hey, you should attend this really great healthy living class, or hey, we've got a really cool program to plug into. So you really want to make sure when you're making the investment in products that you're also getting support to go along with it, with people inside a community that are invested in helping you to live a healthy lifestyle. So just kind of as an example between multivitamins and apples, this is one of 10 pages of the nutrients in an apple. An apple has more than 10,000 known nutrients. Multivitamins might have 10 or 15 different vitamins and minerals. And again, because they're lab made, they're just not well recognized or absorbed by the body. I get way more nutrition from eating an apple, and my body recognizes and absorbs all of this. The amount of a multivitamin that a person absorbs is very minimal. I've read some studies that say it's as low as 30%. And in addition to that, that's with good digestion. And not a lot of people are walking around with awesome digestion, right? So we want to eat foods that are going to heal our digestive tract, that are going to nourish our body and that our body can recognize. So when it comes to supplements, really what you're looking for is anything that is natural, whole food based, clean, safe, and proven. These are the criteria that any products you use, you want to make sure that you have. And that's actually why I, as a practitioner, out of all of the products in the marketplace, and why it took me 8 years to find a product that I wanted to recommend in my practice, is the Juice Plus products. And that's because it's whole food based. It's not a multivitamin. It's third-party tested with that NSF testing. It's also a non-GMO company, which really matters to me. I want to make sure that the foods that I'm consuming from these products are clean and safe for myself and my family. It's also the most researched product line in the world, and it's also dairy and gluten-free for people who have intolerances there. And this is actually the Juice Plus products. And what I love is what you're seeing there of all those pictures is actually the ingredients. So it's not made with lab-made vitamins. It's actually made with powdered fruits and veg. So all of the fruits and veg are grown on family-run farms. And at these farms, they harvest them at the peak of ripeness. So all of those nutrients are present, and they process them in under 2 hours from being harvested. So they're retaining all those nutrients. They pulverize them, they cold dehydrate them, which maintains the integrity of the nutrients and the enzymes. So they cold dehydrate them, and then they mix them together. So what you get is very concentrated, highly nutritious fruit and vegetable powders. We also have a plant-based omega, and I have not recommended fish oil in my practice for more than, well, now 15 years. And we actually have a class. If you Google fish oil in our healthy living community, you can actually see a full 30-minute class on why I don't recommend fish oil and why I love plant oils. Now, fish don't actually make omega-3. They eat algae, which is a source of omega-3 that then builds up in their body. So we don't even need to consume fish in order to get good sources, clean sources of omega-3. And then this omega also is paired up with other high antioxidant nutrient dense oils as well. So you're getting the benefit of variety of healthy plant, clean, non-GMO plant oils. And then you pair that up with all of our concentrated fruit and vegetable powders. And it's really, what a great way to fill the gaps in your diet with the foods that you should be consuming, but in a concentrated form. We also have vegan protein drinks, and these are certified low glycemic. So they actually are designed to stabilize your blood sugar. There's some good clinical evidence that they actually help to support a healthy gut bacterial culture, help support healthy microbiome. And this actually has a huge impact on your immune system because 70% of your immune system resides in your gut. What I really like about these products is they're actually safe for the entire family because it's made entirely of just powdered plants. There's no toxicity concerns for children or seniors or anybody even going through treatments or with certain medications. So you're getting, a large variety of powdered plants in these incredible shakes, and they're absolutely delicious. So you can mix them with water for on-the-go nutrition. They fit into most families' lifestyle. They support that good gut bacteria with prebiotic fiber, and they're also low glycemic, as I mentioned. And I already spoke about these incredible omegas. And what I actually like is that it offers a full spectrum of these plant-based omegas. We also have a program called the Healthy Starts for Families program. And this is just a remarkable family and a commitment of this on behalf of this company to improve health and wellness of the entire family. And what this study does is it's a pediatrician-led study. And for every adult who uses the products, a child between the ages of 4 and 25 gets their products for free until that child is 25. So there's been 1.5 million kids who have received their products for free. My kids have been in the Healthy Starts program since we started 10 years ago. And what we've actually seen through the studies, which have been led by pediatricians, that 71% are consuming more water and consuming less fast food and soft drinks. They're taking less medication. They're visiting the doctor less often. They're eating more fruits and vegetables, and they're missing fewer days of school because they're getting this concentrated nutrition into their body that's filling those gaps, and the families are just living healthier lifestyles as a result of it. So this is a really, really great shake. Can the shakes be made with? Yes, I would suggest, Lisa, plant-based milk versus like a cow's milk, but absolutely. So just before I share a little bit of information with you around the Tower Gardens, I just want to talk about the research because The fact that this company is so well researched, if you actually ask your phone, if you have an iPhone, if you ask Siri, what is the most thoroughly researched health product line in the world, Siri will let you know it's actually the Juice Plus products. And I wanted to share the research with you because I think as families and as individuals and as consumers, it's really important to understand that our products have a positive outcome on our health. We don't want to spend money on things that may or may not help our body, right? We want to make an investment in something that's going to have a positive outcome. So all of the studies that are done with Juice Plus are randomized, they're double blind, they're placebo controlled, and it's human clinical studies. In addition to that, the studies include being actually using the Juice Plus products. They're published, these studies have been published in the world's top clinical and medical journals, and the research is also done ethically as well. And this is a list of some of the institutions that have done the research, and we have big names like University of Toronto and Harvard and Yale and MD Anderson. And I just look at the quality of the universities that did this research, and they're universities that care about the quality of research. They're known worldwide for the quality of research that they do. And they've done great research with using our products in these double-blind studies. And these are just some of the medical and clinical journals that the Juice Plus products have been published in as well. And some of these are the world's top medical and clinical journals in a variety of different areas as well, which is really great to see. So just looking, quickly going through here, what do we see in terms of results of these studies is there's improvement in athletic performance. So the Juice Plus capsules, and just so you know, we're a Health Canada approved product. So they have actually gone through our research to make sure that anything we say about our company and about our products is true. So the Juice Plus capsules reduce exercise-induced oxidation. That helps to reduce muscle soreness, improves recovery, improves performance, and makes sure that your body doesn't suffer the consequences of your exercise. There's studies that actually show that when we take the Juice Plus capsules, we're getting incredible antioxidant protection. If you read here, there was a 528% increase in beta carotene levels in just 28 days. Like that's the month of February. If you started February 1st, by the end of the month, a 520, this is a really, beta carotene is a very protective antioxidant that is really, really important for health and longevity. And that 528% increase is just unbelievable. 80% increase in lycopene, 40% increase in alpha tocopherol, which is our vitamin E, and a 32% increase in vitamin C levels. So we know that even though it's in concentrated form and it's in a, what some people would consider kind of a smaller amount, it's having a tremendous impact on our antioxidant levels, which is protecting our body. Now, in terms of bioavailability, there's actually 20 scientific papers published over 25 years that have found Juice Plus capsules have excellent bioavailability, which means that when you take them, they get into the bloodstream. And if you take the Juice Plus capsules, you'll notice you don't get glow in the dark pee because it's bioavailable. Your body recognizes and makes use of it. There's studies around cardiovascular health, helping to maintain blood pressure, the healthy cholesterol levels, healthy homocysteine levels, support normal healthy elasticity of the arteries, which is going to help to reduce risk for heart attack and stroke, and actually helping blunt the effects of a high-fat meal and vasodilation. So they did studies where they actually fed people unhealthy meals, and they had a placebo group versus a supplemented group, and it actually showed that the Juice Plus supplemented group versus the placebo group was protected. They didn't have the same health consequences from that unhealthy meal as the people who were on the placebo. Improving cognitive function. The Juice Plus capsules improve key areas of cognitive function processes, including working memory, selective attention, processing speed, and executive function. And one of my favorite lectures to do is nutrition and mental health. And we look at what does the brain actually need to fire and receive messages, and it needs a large variety of naturally occurring nutrients in order for our brain to function optimally. Supporting DNA and nutrigenomics. Now, I am a nerd, and this was a big deal. The fact that we can show that using these concentrated whole food products protects DNA is just, if there was only one study that this company had, and there's 3 studies, by the way, on protecting DNA, but if there was only one, and this was the only study this company had, I would take these products. That's how big of a deal it is. So combined results from six studies show that Juice Plus capsules protect DNA from oxidation, supporting its structural integrity. When our DNA starts to go awry, that's when we are at high risk for diseases like cancer. Okay, and cancer is the #1 cause of death here in Canada. So the fact that there's studies, like 6 studies, that show that these products impact our DNA and that this is published in clinical and medical journals is just, everybody should take it just for that reason. Just for that reason. Improving dental health. Juice Plus capsules support good dental health. I know my periodontal health is definitely improved, and I always, when I go in to have my cleaning or see my dentist, they're always commenting on how healthy my gums are and how great, everything is because of that. Gut health. Juice Plus capsules support good gut health. Your gut health is your pathway to health. That's how you absorb nutrients. Most of your immune system resides there. They're now understanding that the quality of your gut bacteria actually plays a role in your risk factors for specific diseases. So when you have good gut bacteria, you actually have lower risk factors for some diseases, including diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's and depression. So there's a huge connection between our gut and the rest of our body. So there's published research that shows that Juice Plus capsules actually improve gut health. It says here, Juice Plus capsules increase levels of butyrate, a compound that supports digestive health and improves glucose clearance, so helping to stabilize blood sugar. And the Juice Plus capsules and Complete positively impact gut microbiome. Okay, immune function. The Juice Plus capsules help to support immune function in the immune system and encourage upper respiratory health as well. I always tell born parents, your kids, if they take the products, they're going to get sick differently. They still need to rest and recover, even though they're not going to probably get as sick as they were. And over the 10 years, like, we've had very, very few. I have 4 children. We've had very few colds and flus. And anything we do get is so short-lived. It doesn't really catch us. Like, we might have an afternoon of recovery, but my children in 10 years haven't had a cold that lasted a week. There's been no ear infections, no sinus infections. There's been no gastro. Like, there hasn't been anything that's like knocked our household out in those 10 years. And it's not, again, that we're not catching stuff. It's just our bodies are more resilient because they're more nutritionally supported. And there's 4 different studies published. By the way, the only studies we're sharing are the ones that have actually been published in clinical and medical journals. Juice Plus reduces inflammation. So inflammation is believed to be the underlying concern or health concern when it comes to a lot of diseases, including cancer and cardiovascular disease. So Juice Plus capsules decrease biomarkers of inflammation. So even just reducing inflammation, reducing aches and pains, increasing the amount of nutrients that are circulating throughout the body, allowing the body to be in a position to heal and repair better. Juice Plus capsules support lung function, which is pretty awesome as well. Metabolic health. Juice Plus capsules support metabolic health to help support healthy weight in adolescents and help to support healthy energy metabolism inside the body. The omega-3 has been proven to actually significantly improve the omega-3 index, even though we're a plant-based product, which is pretty awesome. So more bioavailable, cleaner, better source for our body, and also better source for our world. Juice Plus helps to support healthy skin. I always get compliments on how youthful my skin is, and I am surviving right now with 3 teenagers. So I take it as a compliment, but it just really helps to naturally support more natural aging and has strong anti-aging properties. We get a lot of kids that have pretty significant acne or eczema or psoriasis, and they always tend to see some level of improvement or even clearing up when they put this concentrated nutrition into their body. So just before I share just 5 minutes with you on the Tower Gardens, I just want you to think about all of that research. And I want you to think, if there was a medication on the planet that had all of those proven studies, like there was a medication that you could get in a pill and your doctor could prescribe it to you, and it did all of those things, right? It was clinically proven in all of those areas. There is not a doctor on the planet that wouldn't prescribe it to every single one of their patients, right? These products absolutely have proven that putting concentrated whole food nutrition into our body has a positive outcome on human health. And that's why, you know, for 10 years, I have just really shared these products with my clients. We share them through health education because there is, you know, incredible proven benefit to people for putting this good nutrition into their body. So as I wrap it up, I'd like to just touch on the Tower Garden because it is February and lots and lots and lots of families are getting started with their own Tower Gardens. In fact, we've had many families in the past few weeks come and get a second or third garden because they absolutely love being able to grow their own food. So Tower Gardens allow families to grow their own food at home year-round, indoor and or outdoor. If you're growing indoors, you do need the lights. We have 2 different units, and it allows you to grow your food without chemicals. So you can consume vine-ripened, nutrient-dense foods that haven't traveled long distances, that are very nutritious, grown without chemicals year-round at home. So maybe if you're tower gardening, just post in the comments. Let us know maybe something that you love about your tower garden. Maybe there's something that you grow that is your favorite. Mine is tower garden celery, which I grew celery on accident. And I was like, what is this? And it is delicious. And it is my favorite crop. However, we eat a large amount of kale and peppers. We grow tomatoes and chard and romaine. And we have all our fresh herbs. Like, it really is just great for families that want to grow. Now, you can grow 30 to 50% more food in half the time on your tower garden. So the food grows very quickly and it continuously produces. So we're eating off of romaine that was planted back in October. And we're still consuming off of those plants on a daily basis, which is pretty amazing. You can grow plants with only water and the nutrients, so there is no dirt. It uses aeroponic growing, and we have full classes. So you can actually search Tower Garden inside our Healthy Living community, and you can get access to a full 30-minute class that explains all the different tower gardens. In fact, Paige, a health coach in our group, and a friend of ours, Debbie, they did an amazing presentation last week. I think it was last Wednesday, but if you search Tower Garden, you will find it. And they went through everything that you need to know about the Tower Garden. So this really is the future of good nutrition for families. I've been growing for 10 years, and I just love this idea of chemical-free food, but now it's like families, it's a great way for families to eat healthy affordably and to have access to good quality food, regardless of what's happening in our world, which I think is important. So Tower Gardens use only 10% of the land and only 2% of the water. It recycles the water, 100% of the water and the nutrients. And we have 2 different units that we can share with you as well. So I want to thank you guys. This was a long one tonight. I want to thank you for being a part of our community. For jumping on to learn a little bit about supplements. I hope you feel inspired and I hope you feel educated around what it is you should be looking for. We hope that you will use our Juice Plus products. They're amazing products. But even if you don't, I hope that the information tonight actually just inspires you and builds your confidence around making choices when it comes to your family's health supplements. So thank you so much, everyone. For those of you on Zoom, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll hang around for a few minutes to answer them. And for those of you in Facebook Live, thank you so much. I saw we had a really nice crowd tonight. Thank you so very much for being a part of this.